Hello, this is Darren.
And this is Paige.
And this is
Where's the Lemonade?
Where we talk about what happens when life throws you lemons.
Make some lemonade?
Maybe. Some weeks it's lemon squares.
Yeah, some weeks it's just lemons.
Yeah. In today's episode,
how to make each kid feel special in a large family.
Should be interesting.
It is really important in a large family, and especially in a blended family, to make sure that each kid feels special sometimes and unique.
Yeah, it can be really interesting. They could easily get lost. It reminds me of Yours, Mine, and Ours with Lucille Ball and Henry Fonda. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, the youngest boy was always kind of left over. Do you remember? He was always trying to find his position. Never got food, never got any of that.
Didn't get the right size shoes. Right.
Right. And that's something that we actually talked about, worried about with our kids, with blending, all of a sudden there's 10 kids involved in the house.
Aren't you glad that we don't have an ours?
Yes, I am so glad we don't have an ours. 10 is enough. We didn't need any more chaos in the house.
So we talked about several different things about this episode, but one of them was when you and I got married, and you were making lunches every morning for everybody, which that was really great of you to do. And you were making kind of the same sandwich for everybody.
Well, yeah, when you're making, how many sandwiches was I making? 8 sandwiches in the morning? Yeah, I made the same sandwich for everyone. It was an assembly line. Yes,
and then one day, I think we were going on a picnic. I mean, we'd been married a while, probably
a year at least, yeah.
Maybe even longer. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make sandwiches. What does everybody want? And I'm like, okay, so you all like mustard and and everyone's going, well, no, I don't like mustard. And someone else was like, well, I don't like mayonnaise. And well, I don't like tomato. And I'm like, holy cow, your dad makes this sandwich every day. And they were like, yeah.
We don't like it. No one's ever told me. I'm like, and it was funny because I remember you looked at me and said, are you that mean that you didn't you just make whatever sandwich you want?
I'm like, Darren, why aren't you making what they like?
The kids have never said boo. They haven't said, I don't like that, Dad. Maybe they were afraid. I don't know.
I think that they were just trying to be peacemakers and not rock the boat. But I then said, hello, it's just as easy for us to make this sandwich without mustard or without, and I wanted them to get what they wanted. That is most definitely you. That's my personality anyway. I want to eat what I want. Yeah. So I want other people to get what they want as well. I don't want a sandwich that I'm not going to like. So
it's important, I guess. One of the things we learned from this little story was that you have to ask your kids. Sometimes they're afraid to say anything because they know how swamped you already are when you're in a big family, especially a blended big family. And they don't want to be a nuisance sometimes, so they're not going to make their voice be heard on small, simple things like that.
It's very true. It's very true.
But those small, simple things that make them feel unique and as an individual are important.
It really is. We were saying that sometimes a mall food court is the best option, right?
It absolutely is.
When you want to go out to dinner with a large family, a food court is like everybody's dream come true because we give everybody like $10 or a credit card each person, and we're like,
yeah, we don't give the credit card to certain of our kids.
No, but
others yes. We do.
And we go get your food and meet back here, and everyone's
happy. And
yep.
Yeah, and we're able to figure that out. That's also a good tip when you're traveling at an airport too.
Yes.
Find a food court to go to. Yep. Everyone can pick what they want.
Yep. And another way to make them feel unique or special is let them choose dinner sometimes.
Well, in fact, that actually solves the conundrum of what am I going to make tonight?
Right. So letting them help choose things. And even when we eat out to dinner, we'll let them take turns choosing and
where we want to go eat.
Yep.
And we have to make sure that we spread that around a little bit. What we found with this is there are a lot of things that we have to do that make the kids feel like they have a say and that they are an individual.
Yep, and that their voice is being heard.
Yeah, that's extremely important.
Okay, so one other thing we wanted to mention in our first section here is discipline. It is different for each kid. Now, we talked about this. You and I did. The
Yeah,
rules.
we did. The rules have to be the same.
The
for
rules are
everyone.
the same, but discipline is different for each kid. And that can be challenging sometimes.
It can. And some of the best examples of this are we have a couple kids that are like this. If you just look at them with a disappointing face, they crumble.
Yes.
Right? And others, it doesn't matter what you do to them. They're like, I really don't care.
Yeah, they would never say that they didn't care,
Yeah,
but they certainly don't respond to our disappointed face
No, they
the way that we
don't.
want them to.
So the rules have to be consistent across the board and some basic rules.
Right.
But the way that kids are disciplined is different. The consequences of them are different. The goal, remember, the goal is to teach the kids how to adapt to this large family and teach the kids what they need to learn, not just to be mean or be a disciplinarian or show that you're in charge.
Right.
That
right.
always turns out bad.
But yeah, and I mean, that does go back to that each kid is unique, even when it comes to discipline.
It does. Yeah, absolutely. Now, there's one thing. You can't just have a free-for-all in your house.
Oh, yeah, no, not in our house for sure.
No, not in our house for sure. I think we mentioned this before.
We're not really free for all kind of parents.
No, in fact, we get all the neighbor kids better behaved at our house than at their own homes.
They're all so darling. I love them.
Yeah, they are, and they like to come here because there are rules that are very set in stone. We don't really waver on the rules.
Yeah.
So, and all the kids know that, and they can still be an individual, and that's what's key. Some other things that we read about helping kids feel special or feel like they're part of the family or know that they exist in a big family is spending some one-on-one time with them.
Yes. Now, this is tricky with us because we have my Sam, who's 13. We have him 100% of the time.
Right.
So that's easy for us to do one-on-one things with him.
Because we have him all the time.
Yes, 50%,
which is great.
50% of the time, it is just him here at the house.
Yeah, because with my kids, we have them 50% of the time. Your typical 2-2-5-5 scenario.
Right. So when they're here only 50% of the time, we want to be together because we only have them, for 2 days or 5 days. But so we're not very good at going out with one-on-one dates with your kids.
No, we're not. But we do try and find some opportunities to do that sort of thing. And also, I've noticed something. David and Sam and Madeline, when they're over at our house, they want to be together.
They do.
They really miss each other.
Right.
Now, these three are very unique because they've kind of grown up together the last almost 8 years. They've been together.
Right.
So in those formative years throughout elementary school, they were best buds, and they still are, which I really appreciate. So finding that time to take Madeline out with just us or David out with just us is very difficult.
Or even one-on-one. We don't do that very often. But we try and we still have these special moments. Like, you might take one child to the grocery store or to wash the car.
Or Home Depot, my favorite place to be.
Or someone might go out in the backyard and work on a project with you.
Right. So we try, it's a concerted effort. I can tell you, it's something my dad taught me. He spent one-on-one time with me, and I remember it. It was mostly working.
Right.
My dad taught me how to work really
Right.
hard, and I appreciate that, Dad. Thanks. But I remember him saying, all right, we're going to, unclog a toilet, or we're going to fix a sink, or we're going to fix sprinklers in the backyard. And I didn't realize that was a lot of work for my dad to do that with me. It would have gone 3 times faster without me there. I've noticed that myself. So I try and make a concerted effort to go out, and when I have things that need to be done, I grab one of the kids to do it with me.
And you have there's a 3-day overnight field trip that the kids go to at the elementary school, and you went on Madeline's with her, and it's in fifth grade, right?
Yeah, fifth grade, yeah.
And you went on David's with him, and actually, we both tried to go on Sam's, but we didn't get. It's
We
a
didn't
lottery.
yeah, it's a lottery.
And we didn't get picked. But so you've spent one-on-one time with the kids that way, and then you also do something really fun with them when they turn 12.
Yeah, I do. It's a tradition we started with my oldest kids, even before I was divorced. When kids turn 12, I spend a weekend on a trip with them. Anywhere they want to go. It used to be anywhere they wanted to go until one of my daughters said, okay, let's go to Ireland. No, we're not going to Ireland. It was anywhere in the United States.
Or Canada.
Or Canada. We extended it for the younger kids. And it gives me an opportunity to spend 4 days with them, just them and I.
Yep.
And we go and see things. I teach them how to navigate taxis, buses, airlines, switch flights, all those things. And by the end of it, they know how to navigate.
Yep, and they love it. You just have one trip left with David.
I have one trip left with David, and it's fascinating. All the kids know that this is coming, so they always ask the younger kids, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? So it's always been a lot of fun.
So that's really fun. And then as the kids have been grown, we've also taken the opportunity to have some trips with them.
Yeah, when I'm on a business trip or someplace, especially someplace that maybe that they've talked about in the past, I make a concerted effort to burn some airline miles and drag them with me because they can stay in the hotel with me. That's no big deal.
That's right.
Or sometimes with Paige and I when we've traveled. So we've dragged a kid or two along.
We have.
And that one-on-one time that they get at age 12, it's different than at age 19 or 20.
Yeah, it is. It's very different.
They're now adults.
Yep. We've taken all of the older kids on some kind of trip, and that's been really fun.
Right. And it gives us that time to build that relationship with them individually instead of them getting lost in the crowd, lost in the big family.
Yep. Now, another thing we do to help the kids feel special and kind of one-on-one is I have the kids help me with dinner on Thursday nights. So they get to pick what they want us to make for dinner, and then they come in the kitchen and they help me make it. And that's been working. We just started that a little while ago, and I've been loving it.
Yeah, it's been great. There's another thing that you do with Madeline. And that is, Madeline is our baker.
Oh, gosh. She's a wonderful baker.
She's a wonderful baker. She's 14. If you ever want a killer cake from Madeline, just let us know.
Cake, cupcakes. Amazing.
Everything. It's amazing what she can do. And you have been in the kitchen several times with her, sometimes for long, long periods of time.
Yes, not always, because it is not my thing at all. And she knows that. And I mean, I really have no interest. I only have interest in being with her, not in the baking or the decorating at all.
Right. So it's a sacrifice that you're making so that you could draw closer to her.
Yeah. I'm usually her cleanup crew. I usually kind of just follow behind
You're the
her
sous chef.
cleaning up. Yes. Because that's what I'd rather do than do what she's doing. But one thing that we need to mention that I do with the kids, and it goes back to the very first thing we mentioned in the podcast, when you used to make everybody the same lunch.
Yeah.
I get up in the mornings and I make 3 extremely different lunches.
Extremely different.
For the kids. Because I make them what they want. And to me, it's not a big deal. I know at the grocery store what I need to buy, so they all get their own thing.
I think they dread any time you go out of town without me. Because I have no clue what they want.
You know what? That is something that I want to do. And I enjoy doing it.
I think it's great. And they would, it's amazing. The 3 amigos, the 3 youngest that we have at home, their taste in lunch is completely different.
Yes, it is. I mean, Sam only wants peanut butter and jelly every day. David doesn't like peanut butter and jelly. Madeline doesn't even like a sandwich. Like it's really funny how very different. I mean, they're all completely different, and I like to do that, and I hope that they enjoy that. I think they do, but it's something I like to do with them.
Another thing that it actually happened when we first got married. It was about sharing. I know one concern that you had with Sam coming into this house. I mean, Jake was coming in as well, but Jake was already 16.
Right.
already a busy teenager, gone a lot.
Right.
And Sam was coming into this house with 5 pulsifers that were here.
Right.
You were worried that he was going to get swallowed up.
I did. And, we've always taught our kids to share and this and that. And I was just so worried that he wouldn't have anything that was his, just his. We all want something that's important to us that we don't share. And so that was a balance we had to figure out.
At first, it threw me off. I'm like, what? You don't teach Sam to share?
Yeah, and it was. We had to maneuver that very gently.
But once you talked to me about it, I understood. I said, oh, well, I understand. He needs to still feel who he is and
that he has things that are his.
That he doesn't have to share.
That are special to him. And, and we're not talking just some Legos, or I'm just talking about, some things
it's delicate
from
balance.
from his previous, home he was given from previous friends. Just, there was a few things that I just was like, you know what, I'm just going to let him have those things. They're just his. And now, it's obviously something we don't even think about anymore.
No, not anymore.
But sometimes you need to be careful of that in a large family. I think that it's important that they learn how to share, but I also think it's important that they know that there's some things that are theirs.
Right. That are unique to them.
Yes, that they don't have to share. And I think that's okay. And this is just my opinion. This is not a professional opinion. This is just my opinion. But that's how we've handled it. Another thing that we sometimes do together is watch a show together.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I will take one of the kids. If the other kids are someplace, Madeline and I will watch a show, or Sam and I will watch. We have specific shows we watch just with them. It is not a family show. This is the show I watch with this kid, and this is the show.
Well, and I've noticed you're really good at that, and showing interest in the show, even though you might not be interested. The kids would never know.
Right. I try and find shows that I have some kind of interest in, because sometimes I just can't fake it. I'm sorry. I cannot fake that I like Ninjago. It's not happening.
Ninjago or the Avatar cartoon
but
series.
when we watch Amazing Race or Survivor or America's Got Talent, things like that, I can get into.
Now, another thing I noticed that you did is that you listen to the kids. Even when they're rattling on about things that you know nothing about, you make sure that they're heard. And that's a really cool trait.
I read something that said if you want your kids to talk to you about the important things, you've got to listen to them when they're talking about Pokemon or gossip at school or Ninjago or, whatever it is, Smash Brothers. That really stuck with me that, so I do listen to them, I think probably better than you
much
do.
Better than I do.
I don't even know that they would approach you with it anymore.
No, I've tried in my eyes. It's like when I talk about work and Paige's eyes gloss
I was just
over.
going to say, I'm really well practiced at it, sweetie.
Yes, really. I can read it pretty well now. So.
But no, I think that that's true. If we want them to come to us with the big things, we need to listen to things that are important to them.
Individually, because it's not the same for the whole family.
No.
So those sorts of things don't just happen at the dinner table. They have to happen outside the dinner table.
Definitely.
Right, and spend time talking.
Another thing that is really important in a large family, and especially in a large blended family, is being a team. So even though we're sitting here saying, make sure that you treat each kid uniquely and special.
As an individual.
And I'm really big on that.
Yes, you are.
But you can't do it so much so that they don't feel like they're part of this family and that they're a team. So there is a delicate balance there.
Yeah, especially in a blended family, this is a really, really difficult thing to navigate, right? Because they have roots in where they came from and who they are, and now you're throwing them into this blended family and saying, "Go team."
Right. Yes. Go team on this new team that we've created.
Yeah, but there's some small things that you could do to make them still feel like an individual and still feel part of the family or part of the team.
So one of the things that we do is when we are in the kitchen after we've had dinner, no one leaves the kitchen until it is clean. So we aren't one of those families that has a job chart with, tonight you're setting the table and tonight you're doing the dishes. No one leaves, and we clean the kitchen in like 5 minutes or less. I mean,
it's really amazing because this is a major shift from what I grew up with and what I raised my kids with, my older kids. And when did we start doing that? Right away? It was a little bit after.
Probably about a year in. I was trying to figure out some different strategies.
And this was a really killer strategy. No one leaves the kitchen until everything's done, and we don't send assignments out.
No. I mean, when we're all in here, I'll go, hey, so-and-so do the table and so-and-so, do this. But everyone just kind of jumps in.
Everyone gets it done.
And we get it done. And it is done so quickly. And no one complains.
And what it shows is that as a family, as a team, we can get things done really quick.
Yes.
And together.
Right.
And that's so much better, I think, than harping on your kids. Why didn't you, finish all the dishes in the sink?
Right, because when we were first married, we would have one kid, you're doing the dishes tonight. And so we would all leave the kitchen, and this person...
stuck there for 45 minutes to an hour.
Depending on who it was and how slow they were moving. But, yes.
Like a lot of our kids.
Yes. And that also drove me crazy, too. I'm like, just get it done. So it works out for us. It does. It works out for us.
It really does. And no one slacks because the others see that, and they get on them and say, hey... why every time when we're cleaning the kitchen, you have to go to the bathroom?
Right. Yes.
Right. So it works out actually really well for us.
Yep. Another one that we do like that, all of us together, is when we get back from a trip, we all clean the car out. Nobody gets to go lay down and just chill until the car is cleaned out.
You know what? The first time we started doing that, it was really hard.
It is. It's brutal.
We just drove from Utah, 12 hours in the car, and we get home, and the first thing Paige does is, everyone clean out the car. I'm like, I want to go lay down.
Because if it doesn't get cleaned out, guess who's cleaning it out the next day when everybody is off to school and work?
Yeah,
me.
Yeah, exactly.
And once again, we are done in 5 to 10 minutes. It is done.
Yeah, as a family. So everyone knows to pitch in. And what's amazing is we've seen this with our older kids that are now out of the house. When we're at their homes, visiting them, everyone joins in and helps.
Yes, they do. They're really good at it. Really good at it. And then there's also another good example of us working as a team would be when we do yard work, the backyard, something like that. We usually all chip in and to work together to get it done.
Right. And people have different things that they're doing in the backyard, but no one is done working until all the work is done.
Right. They try to sometimes. Sometimes we'll come
sometimes
in and go,
I have to come find some kids.
Yeah, why are you in the house? And they're like, oh, I thought we were done.
I thought we were done.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no.
Yeah, because Dad's still out there working?
Yeah, I don't want anyone to think that this is a perfect system because in no way is it, but we are working on it.
Yeah, it still requires some coaching, I guess is the right word.
Yes. But it is just so important that even when we're trying to make them feel special and like an individual and play on their uniqueness, it is important to not go too far that they're going, well, I don't do that. I don't clean backyards or that's not my forte.
No, it's not just work that we find the opportunity to work as a team. We also do it in play.
Yeah, we do.
Right? And sometimes it means dragging a reluctant teenager to a family activity that they may not want to go do.
That is very true.
Right? But we do that. We drag them there. And what we found in the end, I haven't had any one of my kids complain after the fact.
Never. No. In fact, they're always grateful that we did family activities and that we all said, hey, we're all going to do this. It wasn't who wants to go do this. It was, we're all going to do this.
Right. And we've seen other people that, oh, well, my teenager might get upset. So what? Teenagers get upset all the time.
Yes. And they might as well spend some family time together.
Even if they're upset.
Even if they're upset, because I guarantee 5 years later, they will say, you know what? I really appreciated that you had me spend time with the family, even when I was being my punk self and not wanting to.
Well, and part of that family time is putting your phones away.
Oh, yes.
Not just the kids, but the adults too, which is really hard for someone,
Someone
yeah, like me.
sitting here that has white hair has,
Yes.
yeah, it is hard. I have to do a
Naturally white hair.
little naturally white. I have to give you some gentle reminders sometimes.
Yes, I do need reminders on that, but it's part of being that team. And so it's work and play. Okay, the next hardest thing is not playing favorites with your kids.
Yes. Now, you joke about this a lot.
Well, the kids ask me all the time, who's your favorite kid?
Yes,
So
and
I
you
tell 'em.
answer.
Yeah, today,
Yeah.
in fact, today it is probably Jacob is my favorite kid today. Mm-hmm. So if you kids out there hear that, it's Jacob today. Maybe tomorrow it'll be Madeline or Matthew or, I don't know. It depends.
Right. But yes, you joke about that a lot. I don't ever say anything to this. No, I don't ever say anything. But you joke about it. You always say, "Oh, Rachel is because she gave me grandbabies," or "Oh, you know."
Yeah, I don't just say a name. I always say a reason why.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
And the point I'm trying to get across is we try our best not to play favorites with our kids by showing them individually how much they matter to us.
Right. Yes. So no, it is important not to play favorites. On a serious note, it is very important. And you know, one of the things that you can do that the kids will pick up on is even little things. Like when I go out of town, if you and I go out of town and we buy souvenirs, and if we, you know, oh, well, this kid, they don't really care about souvenirs, so we're just going to get them something tiny. And then we get the other kids, they're paying attention, even though they're acting, or maybe they really don't care what we bring them back. They're paying attention.
They are, and they watch everything that you do.
Yes.
Right. Even the time that you spend with them, or, well, you went to my swim meets, but you didn't go to, her ballet. I've heard that before. So
right.
We have to be very mindful of all the little things that you do that the kids are picking up on.
Yes. And we try and go to everything that we possibly can.
We try. We can't always make everything.
No, we can't. It's, that's just life, but we try.
Another thing you have to be worried about when you're trying to teach your kids to not play favorites and treat them as individuals is just peanut buttering everyone with the same things.
You mean mustard and mayonnaising everyone like you did?
Mustard and mayonnaising everyone. Yeah, I like that. And because they're going to see that that's not unique. Oh, we're all in a communist society where
right.
everyone gets the exact same thing.
Right.
And it shows no individualism and it shows no thought.
But you can't, we're talking about favorites. You can't make someone this is exactly what I know you like. And then,
well, you didn't seem to care.
You didn't seem to care. So you're just getting whatever. So you've got to be careful about that.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Now, another thing is they, with ornaments.
Christmas ornaments. Well, we have that tradition, right?
We have a tradition. They get an ornament from us every year. And they really like when we take the time to get them all individual ornaments.
Like something that happened to them that year.
Right.
Or something that they really like.
Yes.
They recognize that a lot more than the first year where we got everyone the same ornament.
Right.
Just different colors, if I remember right.
Yes. And we have to make sure we don't get somebody a completely individualized ornament and then someone else just a ball. Do you know what I mean? We have to, because then they do. They look at that and are like, oh, well, how come they got that?
How important am I?
So, yes.
All right, so the funny moment of the week happens because we watch shows recorded, not live.
No, we don't watch commercials. We have Hulu and Netflix, and so we don't watch commercials. But we were watching an old episode of America's Got Talent.
Well, it's last season's.
Yes.
So it's not too old.
Right, last season. And there's this little, I think she's 13-year-old girl that looks...
Courtney Hadwin.
Yes, she's shy and quiet, and then all of a sudden they turn music on, and she turns into, what was that?
Janis Joplin.
Janis Joplin. She sounds just like Janis Joplin.
She does, and acts just like her, too.
Oh my gosh, she looks like she's having a total spaz attack on the stage, and the kids think it's the funniest thing they've ever seen. I mean, it's total spaz.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So our 14-year-old daughter jumps up and channels Courtney Hadwin right in the room.
And had a spasm.
Oh, had a spasm. I thought maybe she was going to, I'd have to take her to the ER or something.
It was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing, though. It was hilarious. I mean, her spaz attack, it was just like the girl. I mean, she was channeling her for sure.
Yeah, so there's never a dull moment in this home.
No, it was awesome. If you like today's episode,
Give us 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, Google.
and head to Facebook and like us,
And check out our blog at where'sthelemonade.org.
where you can leave questions and comments.
But most of all,
Go out and make some lemonade.
you betcha, baby.
On our next episode,
We're going to talk about how we navigate Mother's Day and Father's Day.
and how Darren let Paige down. Isn't that what we're really talking about? I thought that's what we were talking about.
Sounds good to me.